Good morning, YouTube. DutyRon checking back in with a pre-recorded video. I just want to say hello to all of you guys and just send you a message of peace, love, and positive vibes. It's the morning after and the wake for Thomas Valva. And you guys, those of you who follow me, you know I went to the wake last night with my neighbor, Diane. And it was a difficult thing to do, from emotional, physical. I was exhausted from a long day at work. I was up the night before. I couldn't go to sleep. I was up till 2 in the morning, so I got like 4 or 5 hours sleep yesterday. And I just pushed myself to go, and I felt that it was the right thing to do. I asked my wife if she wanted to come, and she was like, absolutely not. She could not emotionally handle that. And she, said, go and, pay your respects. I know that's what you want to do. So I got to meet Justina and the two boys, and, they were running around, and, one more than the other. And there was a young girl with the young one, and it warmed my heart to see the kids are so resilient. It's like nothing happened. And the priest that came in, I think it was a deacon from Farmingdale Church in that area there. He spoke so well, and he made a lot of good points that every day that we wake up is a gift. That these are his words, and when you put your feet on the ground in the morning, it's a gift from God, and you should say thanks, and don't lose track of that, and hug your loved ones. And you never know when, it could be your last day. He said, we have to live for the now. We can't live in the past. We can't live for the future. We have to live for now, because nothing's guaranteed. And he spoke so well and said it so well with an upbeat, positive. He had the people in the congregation at the funeral home. We were laughing at certain points, and I was like in the fourth or fifth row, and I at one point glanced around, and there were so many people quietly crying and trying to hold back, grief. And I looked up at Justina in the front, and she was holding it up, like she's a strong woman. I just, quickly want to say that, we need to realize that, his family's burying little baby Thomas today, and in his white, looked like a communion, like what you would see a child in a Catholic communion. It's like white suit, white pants. The whole coffin was open, little shiny white shoes. And the deacon that did the service even said, I wish I had his hair, because his hair was so perfect. It looked just like him in real life in his pictures. And we all know that his soul is in heaven, and it was not him there. It was just his shell, his body. But it was difficult to stand in front of the casket, being a father and being a human being. It really crushed me to see that. And I couldn't fight back the tears. I tried my best, but hey, this puts everything all in perspective, that a few things. Life is fragile, and we have to stop taking things for granted. But we also have to, it's a call to action in the name of Thomas Valva, for us to make it right, make this life, this system, this broken means and sets of protections that are in place for children that aren't working. So on this day, in a few short hours, he will be laid to rest and buried in a cemetery in Suffolk County. And right now they're gathering at the church. It's 9:28 a.m. here in New York. They're all gathering at the church. I'm heading to my office. I would have loved to have been to the service, but I went last night and prayed, and I think that's enough. We need to think about also the things that we say online, about this case, and keep in mind that this is a family that's going to be looking, perhaps, maybe not now, or maybe not later, or maybe, who knows. But eventually I think she will look at some stuff, and you don't want to be that person that's putting out messages of negativity and questioning, because who are we to question anything that she has done? We need to just support her and her fight now against the powers and the authorities that failed her son, to us, this little boy, this little angel. We need to, gather around and try to support in any way. And support can mean just a positive message. Doesn't mean you have to go and, or send her messages or anything like that, because she's getting so many of those messages. And I spoke to close family friends. One gentleman approached me in a suit, and I was up at after viewing Thomas at the casket. I was looking at the beautiful corrections officers benevolent association that made a teddy bear and put the words Thomas. I put a picture up in my comment section of that. I was standing in front of that, and he came over to me with his wife and shook my hand and said, "Hey, I see what you're doing on YouTube. I love the message you're sending out. I started following you from your first video on Friday." And he shook my hand and said, I've been friends with the family since the beginning, and my wife and I, thank you for what you're doing. And that was amazing. I never thought that someone was going to approach me there up at right in the front, just to the left of his casket. And then I sat, and I actually kneeled next to him in the second row after that, gave him my business card and my contact information, and we had a conversation. And it was private, and I'm not going to speak about the context of that conversation, but there's much more to this story that I learned last night. And we need to be aware of that, and then that her side is, you're getting basically just a small slither from this story from the media, and this is not my words, it's his. So I'm going to follow this closely, and I'm going to do whatever I can, or whatever I'm asked to by Justina or the family, to help if I can in any way. And that's the message I'm sending. So let's keep Justina and Thomas and all her mom from Poland. I didn't meet her personally because she doesn't speak English, but I was standing right next to her, and I wanted to go over and hug her, but she had so many people around her, so I refrained from that. But she obviously is in grieving and distraught. So, but she's here to support her daughter from Poland, so that's a good thing. Guys, I'm going to end this, but I just wanted to give you a quick briefing and an update through okay, I guess this person wants to just text and drive. Just want to give you guys an update. I think that you all deserve to hear, what I experienced last night, and it was just overwhelming emotion. I did sleep soundly for a good 8.5 hours. So thank you for all the messages. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, so this way you'll get all things DutyRon when I do go live. And I'll speak to you guys really soon. Thank you for watching, and thank you for all the positivity and support. Talk to you soon.